Hey there, I'm Kat, and this is Brews and Reviews. It's time to start a weekend reading vlog. Last weekend I had such a busy weekend, so this weekend I'm planning to do nothing but sit on my behind and read. Consume things with my eyes, with my ears. The whole point of this weekend is that words make it inside my brain and they stay there, hopefully. Hopefully. I do have a sieve brain. So I have a few books that I'm thinking maybe I could pick up, but I don't really have an exclusive TBR for this, and that's mostly because I feel like I'm going to be mood reading, and it will also depend on how well my eyes and head do in terms of migraines, how much I actually read with my eyes, and we'll just see how that goes at the time. But my goal for this weekend is to finish 3 books, which may sound excessive, but I have half an hour of an audiobook left, so technically it's really only 2 books that I want to finish over the weekend. My other goal for this is to start Iron Flame. I don't have to finish Iron Flame, I don't even have to read much of Iron Flame, but I need to read 50 pages of Iron Flame because it's about damn time I start that book. I managed to finish my first book, and yeah, it was the book that I had half an hour left of, but don't judge me, it's done, okay? So I finished reading The Physics of Climate Change by Lawrence Krauss. This is a book that I picked up because one of the Aurelium challenges was to read about something that you care about, and I am really interested in climate change and reading about that, but I kind of mostly just feel a little bit depressed now. That was kind of bleak. It was written a couple of years ago, I believe, because it kept mentioning the pandemic, so yeah, it just felt bleak. And I don't love it when books leave me feeling bleak, because I already have that dread, generally, anyway, because wow, the world. Anyway, I also feel like I listened to this as an audiobook, and I really wish I had read it as a physical book because there were so many figures that were referenced. I didn't realize going into it that it was just going to be reference this figure over here, this graph. And I'm like, I can't see the graph. Describe it, please. And the person didn't describe the graph, so I was a bit confused. It was an interesting book, though. I do feel like I learned some things. And, it's a book down, and I can just be depressed about climate change on my own time instead of in my reading time now, so
Help, I seem to be in cat jail. He's sitting on my legs and I can't move. Help. Okay, I live here now. Okay.
Good morning! It's not the morning at all. It's 2:30 in the afternoon on Saturday, and honestly, I've done nothing that I meant to do today. Oops. I have done some things this morning. I was up reasonably early, and then I was watching Jenna from Just a Little Bit Random stream on Twitch, and I listened to a little bit of my audiobook before that. I started reading Seems Like Murder by Dorothy Howell, I think. This is a cozy mystery about a woman who runs away from her LA life because it's all gone a bit wrong, and she goes to a small town and then somebody has been murdered! Oh no. So, gonna listen to that. I need to do the dishes because the dishes are piling up since I cooked last night, so I really need to do the dishes. And I was gonna mow the lawn, but the weather is dog shite, so the lawn is not on the cards for today. So I'm gonna make myself a cup of coffee, I'm gonna listen to my audiobook and do the dishes, and we're gonna get somewhere with this book. I think I have about 1 hour 55 minutes of 3.5 times speed listening, and then I'll finish this book, so let's go. Okay, so I did my dishes, and then I did some stuff in my bullet journal, and then I started to get a bit dizzy, which is great. I think I'm getting a migraine, which is really shitty. I don't so much have the headache part, but the double vision and aura stuff is really coming for me. I'm so annoyed because I just want to be awake and I just want to do things, and it's no, just don't, just don't. Fuck my body right now. I have been listening to my audiobook though, so I have about 20 minutes left of Seems Like Murder, and it is quite a nice sort of cozy mystery. I feel like there's a lot to be wrapped up in such a short space of time because I don't feel like I have very many answers. I feel like there are a lot of suspects and a lot of things to happen, and I don't know if it's just me that it's just I've no clue who the actual murder could be. It could be anyone. Don't know. Brain no worky, but it's nice to just have a murder mystery on in the background. I am hoping to just finish this and then I'm gonna have a lie down because I think I'm gonna need to have a lie down in the dark. Fuck my life. I finished Seems Like Murder, and yeah, it did really wrap up super quick, and I wasn't surprised by the ending, but I don't really want to be surprised. It's just cozy mystery type things. There were quite a few like main story beats that were just sort of left. Oh, I don't know if you can hear the red arrows, but I think they're flying past again. I saw them this morning. Planes. Anyway, there's quite a lot of things left unfinished, so I can see that it would be like a continuing storyline. Yeah, fun. I'd read the second one. It's just a nice thing to read when you don't want to use your brain. I think I'm gonna rate it 3.5 out of 5 stars. It wasn't quite good enough to be a 4-star, and like it wasn't in depth enough into any of the characters. Like I didn't like love any of them. There's a lot of stupid people in this small town, but like it wasn't the worst. It was a good brain. We're at this point in the migraine stage where brain do words, no do words. So next time you see me, I'll probably look considerably worse, but hey ho, it's nap time. I need to just go and lay down in the dark and do nothing for a while. Welcome to the toilet. I am sat on the toilet. I'm not using the toilet. Cooper wanted a drink, so I have to sit here and hold his little foot so that it doesn't go like wee, because I'm his bitch. Anyway, I woke up, he wants a drink, I'm getting food, and then I'll probably go back to sleep not long after. I haven't seen my parents for like 2 weeks, so I need to go and say hi and eat food with them, and then probably come back, because I don't feel like I'm totally right, but that hour and a half that I had to sleep just in the dark definitely helped a little bit. So did my medication. God bless medication. I love medication. I'm so annoyed with the fact that I can't like do anything, and I just want to be able to just pick up a book, you know? It's just really annoying. Sorry this has turned into like moaning bathroom drinking session here. Yeah, are you done? Are you drink all done? Good. Back, I had paella, it was nice. A good time. My parents are also allergic to the big light, so my eyes had a little bit of a rest there. So I tried to read some of my ebook, which is Corrupt Vow by Eva Ashwood. I was partway through this one at the beginning of the month, so I just thought, well, since I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to read, then I thought I'd try and pick that one up. About 20 pages. Not very much, but at the same time, more than I was expecting to get done. I can't really explain anything about this book without spoiling the things that have happened earlier on in the series, because this is the dark romance book about a woman who witnesses a murder. These 3 brothers commit a murder right in front of her, and then they're like, hey, let's keep you in line by keeping an eye on you, and then having romance together. And there's a whole lot of other stuff. Like the plot for the 3rd book has gone on like such a tangent. Wow, that's a noisy motorbike. Could you not? Rude. The plot for the 3rd book has really gone on this giant tangent, and I cannot say anything about it without spoiling things that happen in the 2nd book, so it's annoying, but like I'm kind of liking where it is going, I guess. I don't know, it's not fun for the characters, but like hopefully this plotline will get resolved in this book, because it's not a very pleasant plotline for any of the characters, but at the same time I'm just rolling with it. I'm just enjoying it, and I have heard that there is some good revenge that happens later on, which I'm really looking forward to, and I'm just like, let's get to that, please, because this other guy's a dick. It's like 4 o'clock on Sunday now, and I haven't done any vlogging, and that's mostly because I had no makeup on earlier, and then I went and gardened a lot. My body hurts from the gardening. Let's not garden ever again. There were so many bugs as well. I really didn't enjoy when they flew at me. I really don't like bugs. Anyway, so I've managed to do something today, which was actually quite productive. I've also listened to an hour of We Are Legion, We Are Bob, which is a sci-fi book about a man who earns a lot of money, and then he's like, sure, I'll sign up to cryogenic freezing, that will be great. And then he gets run over by a car, and then the next thing he knows, he's woken up 100 and something years later, and the governments have changed, and he is no longer technically declared alive, so they can kind of do anything they want with his consciousness. And they're like, the whole world is in this kind of weird war, and we're kind of having a space race about sending artificial intelligences into space and then having them replicate, and then we can be like the colonizers of this place in space. And essentially he becomes an artificial intelligence, and then he starts like cloning himself. So he's a clone of like original Bob's consciousness, and then he's like a clone of a clone, and there's like so many Bobs, and like I can see this getting really interesting and really confusing because the Bobs have different personalities, and they're all giving each other different names. So only Bob 2, who thinks he's the original Bob, but he's not, because it like it's so confusing. There are so many Bobs, and I feel like it's only going to get more confusing, but I am really enjoying it so far because it's a really interesting explanation on like consciousness and what it means to be human and what it means within artificial intelligence consciousness, of how much of an individual each of those consciousnesses is. I don't know, it sounds really interesting and I am intrigued by it, and I also feel like it could be a really interesting story. So I'm just going to sit here in my little reading chair with my electric blanket and just listen to it, because I'm trying desperately not to get another migraine. But I listened to about an hour and I have about 2 hours left of the audiobook on 3.5 times speed. It's like a 10-hour audiobook. So hopefully I can finish that one today. I would really like to. I'm really intrigued by it, and there are sequels, so if I like this, then I should be picking up the rest of them at some point, but we'll see. So I'm still reading We Are Legion, and these clones are called replicants in it. And they have all picked characters and names for themselves when they've been cloned, and one of them has named themselves Homer, and the narrator of this audiobook is doing an impression of Homer Simpson because it's called Homer based on the character, and I'm like, it just adds to it. I don't know why, it just makes me smile because I'm just like, oh, sure, let's have Homer talk about like quantum physics and stuff. That makes loads of sense. It just made me laugh. So I have about an hour left of We Are Legion, and there's two main storylines going on at the moment. There's what's happening on Earth, which is not great. A lot of things have been nuked. There's a bunch of survivors, only about like 1.5 million people, I think, left on Earth, and the Bob that is there, who is called Riker, because he was number 2. It's the whole Star Trek thing. There's a lot of Star Trek, Star Wars stuff in this book, which I'm enjoying as a fan of both, but they're looking at trying to get the people off of Earth into a new place. And then you follow Bob 2, who was like the original AI Bob, as he is investigating this planet that has intelligent life on it and interfering, and like I find that really interesting, but I also kind of hate it because I have this thing where I really like feel for both animals that hunt animals that need to eat the animals and wanting the animals that are being hunted to get away. I'm like I feel for you both, but also I don't know, I've always been really weird about that. So having these two different types of sentient species, it's interesting, but like I feel bad. Like I feel bad for the ones that aren't getting the food now because of the interference of the people, and I'm like, oh, I just feel weird about the whole like interfering thing. There's a lot of like Prime Directive, don't interfere with things, and like I kind of get that because it's maybe really sad, but it's also like nature. So I don't know. So many interesting discussions out of this book, but I am enjoying it still. Just an hour left. We'll see what happens. I swear I've never heard the phrase, it was one of those good news, bad news situations more than I have in this book. Part of me finds it annoying, but then part of me is like, these are all clones of the same person, so of course they would use the same like random saying. So it's like kind of annoying, but I'm also not annoyed by it. But I'm obviously annoyed about it enough to tell you about it, so I don't know if I'm allowed to be annoyed about that, but I am. I finished We Are Legion, We Are Bob, and I actually really enjoyed it. The only thing I'm a little bit like about is the fact that it ended, and yet so many of the storylines are just ongoing. And that does make sense in like the context of the story, but at the same time I like it when a book has like at least quite neat things. I mean, I feel like this one had some things, but then it introduced some new problems towards the end, and I'm like, they're going to be problems in the next book, aren't they? So I don't know. I enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I was going to. I think I'm going to rate it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Ooh, throwing out the 0.5. It wasn't 5 stars, but I don't know. I feel like this book made me think a lot, and I just enjoyed it. It also made me smile. I liked all the nerd references, and it's generally a fun time. Apart from all like, you know, the death and all the stuff that happens in there, poor humanity and all that, but like we kind of do it to ourselves because we're kind of stupid. But at the same time, yeah, you know, 4.5 out of 5 stars, that's what we're going with. So it's 7 o'clock now, and I'm thinking that I should probably start Iron Flame, because one of my goals is to start Iron Flame, and I can just see myself procrastinating that even further. But I have finished 3 books technically over this weekend period, and that is my only goal I haven't like at least attempted yet, so let's get to it. Although I did download the audiobook and I saw that it was like over 28 hours, and I'm like, excuse me, why is so long? Why so long?
I did it! I finally started Iron Flame. It strikes me that you might not be as proud of me as you should be for this, but I've accidentally been procrastinating this for a month and a half. This is actually a buddy read with Abby from Abby Lucy the Book Lover, and she has started reading it a month and a half ago. It might be longer than that now, and every time she messaged me I'm like, I've not started yet, oopsie daisy, and now I finally have. Finally. Also, I just sat there listening to some of it, and then I went back to, see how far through the book I was, and it felt like I'd been listening for, a considerable amount of time. And if I had been reading Fourth Wing with the margins and size of the words in that book, then I probably would have gotten further into this book, but now I'm only 22 pages into this, and it feels like I should be a lot further. But, fuck the tiny words and tiny margins of this giant behemoth. What's that about? I feel like I've been cheated. Yeah, I'm only 22 pages in. I do feel like I've just immediately fallen back into it, and I'm excited to see where this goes and what happens. But also I just feel like where the last book ended and where this one has started puts it in a really strange place, and I'm curious to see where it's going to go. It's obviously going to be a very different type of book from the first one, at least I'm hoping it is, because I don't really understand how you could have the revelation of information that you do towards the end of the last book and then you just go back to normal. So I feel like it's going to be less like military dragon school, more other things that are happening in the plot. But, I'm interested to see what happens. Now, it's currently 7:30, and I am going to go and sit in a room where the Euro final is playing. I don't expect to watch the Euro final, but I'm going to sit in a room where it's on in the background. I'm not a football fan. England men's are not super good at football, and I'm fully expecting us to lose. But, just on the off chance that they don't, I'll be in a room where it's on.
So I forgot to actually close off this vlog, and I didn't read anything after the football like I was expecting to, so here's Cooper. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!